Okay, so maybe you're just about to graduate and you'll be looking to find your first design job, or possibly you've been applying for loads and loads of jobs and you're not getting anywhere, you're not even getting to the first interview stage. What I want to do today is give you 5 really simple tips to really improve your chances of getting to the first interview stage, the second interview stage, and getting your dream design job. So, tip number 1, you want this job. Don't want any job, you want this one. So that means first impressions really count. So when you're sending your email, don't just go, please find attached my CV. What you need to say is, I've seen the job, it's perfect for me, I love your company, I've looked at case study A, B, and C, it's really the type of company that I want to work for. And this is exactly the right job for me. And explain why it's the right job for you. Personally, I will judge a personal email as much as I will judge your CV or your portfolio or your interview, because I really want to know that you want to work for this company and you really want this job. So tip number 2, you love design. So I need to feel that it's kind of part of you, that it's part of your makeup. If you send me a CV in a Word document, you will never get through to an interview stage, because it shows to me that you don't think of design in everything you do. So please, if you know, in terms of your CV, make sure it's designed, because that will be judged as well. Tip number 3. So tip 3, you are creative. You need to show that you're creative. For example, I mentioned earlier about the CV. I received this CV the other day. Their online portfolio is actually pretty good, but if I get a CV that's designed in Word, I can never push someone through to the first interview stage, because I think you don't think about the whole picture. For example, Luke's here. This is Luke. Luke joined us 5 years ago. And you know, this isn't like crazy, stupid creative, sorry. But this is, I've still kept this 5 years on. So when he applied for the job, it came in a red envelope. Inside that red envelope was Luke's CV. I say it was nicely laid out, nothing crazy, but it showed he's thought about his own brand in red. It's got a bit more pink now, I think, but you've got your brand there. It's well thought out, and then that's well thought out with the big picture in terms of his portfolio piece. So instead of just sending it as a PDF, he sent it through as a broadsheet, and all Luke's work is in there. Why do you think that was? Why did you do this?
It was just something a bit different. I was lucky at uni, they kind of pushed us to do something a little bit different and stand out. And for me, the newspaper wasn't something that was being done at that time. So I kind of wanted something a bit different. That I like things that are tangible and touchable. Yeah. And so that was what worked for me.
Well, it certainly made a good impression of us, and 5 years later, he's still here. So thank you, Luke. You can clear off. Cheers. But you know, we do a lot of branding work, and what this makes me think is that someone can think about their own brand. Even as a graduate, they can think about a brand they're going to work on for me. Also, one thing I will say in your portfolio, just because you haven't done maybe a huge branding project in your coursework, there's no reason why you can't go walk down your own high street or look online, see a company that you think their brand doesn't look very good, and actually just rebrand it as an exercise. How would you think they should look? Where do you think they're letting themselves down? And that's one really great way of improving your portfolio. So tip number 4 is, you know the company. So one of the first questions I'm going to ask you if you get through to that first interview stage is, what do you know about Finally? What's one of your favorite case studies on our website? What do you think of the values of the business? If you haven't been bothered to do your research, then from an employer's point of view, I'm thinking you don't really want to work here. And we always want people that want to work for this company, not just need a job. So please do your research and make sure you know the company. And finally, tip number 5, it's as important as all the other tips, is this. You are really keen. You know, all employers want to know that you want to work for them. Maybe play up to their egos, but we want to know you're really keen to work here. So if if you get an offer for a first interview or a second interview, or even when you get the job, what I'm hoping for is someone to reply quite quickly with real positivity in their tone of voice in their email. Oh wow, that's great news. Can't wait to meet you on on whatever date. Because it helps me feel that you really want to work for Finally, for example. But also, even if I give you a job offer, I want to hear that you're really pleased about it, and it sets you in a good place for when you get the job. So tip number 5, show that you really are keen to work for that company. So let's sum this up. Firstly, you want this job. You don't just want any job. This is the one you want, and you've shown that by the great email you've written and the positive tone of voice you've used. Secondly, you love design. Make sure your CV is designed in a design package and looks really good and represents you as a brand, and make sure it's been sent in PDF format, not Word. Thirdly, you are creative. Do something with your portfolio, like we showed you with Luke, that you put it maybe in a different format that grabs people's attention. There's no excuse. You're going for a creative job, so be creative. You know the company, so that means do your research. If you get through to first, second interview stage, make sure you can answer questions like, what's your favorite case study? What do you think about the company? What are the values, etc. Show that you really know the business. And finally, show that you're really keen. So when you get an email, a job offer, a first interview, always reply back as quickly as you can. Make sure there's no mistakes in it, but also reply in a really positive, friendly tone of voice. And that really is it. 5 top tips to land your dream design job.